Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Landy Lodge where we got to talk about Arceus. But before we get into that, and before I introduce my very handsome guest, there are some people we need to thank. Now, those people are the Sages of the Lodge, those who donate as little as 1 gil a month to keep us moving. So without further ado, these fine people, whether they donate on Anchor or YouTube channel member, deserve all of our thanks. Excuse me. So without further ado, big shout out to all these legends. Charlotte Astria, Alex Pamal, David Fries, Chris and Maria Perkowski, Shane Driscoll, Scott Castellano, Jillian Eason, Corey Barchat, Twilight Blaze, Nick Taborski, Kevin McBride, Henry Rudmatza, Michael Fay, Richard Arnold, Andrew Clay, Brendan Abrams, Gaseous Snake, Orpheus Joshua, Brady Burleson, AJ Wilhite, Mookie DTRT90, and our newest Sage of the Lodge, as via being a YouTube channel member, Jordan Krupka. Jordan, thank you so much. Welcome aboard. Appreciate any and all support. But for those of you out there who are listening, all I ask is that you lend me your ear. Anything else is a bonus. So thank you for that. Now, without further ado, I'm done yapping. Let me introduce my guest, the legend himself, LanzofMasters. Lanz, what's going on, man? How you doing?
Doing great. How about yourself?
Dude, I'm chilling, man. Times are good, life is good, and Pokemon is good.
Pokemon is great.
Agree? Yeah.
It's a good time to be a Pokemon fan.
Oh yeah, so let's just jump right into it. Let's just start with some general thoughts. What's your general take on the game? You and I have both finished the campaign, is my understanding. What is your general take on this game?
This is the best experience going through a Pokemon main story that I've ever had.
And is there anything in particular that makes it stand out from previous experiences?
The characters are so charming, even with no voice acting. I thought Game Freak did a good job fleshing out each character, and they did a good job. There was some good writing here, not even with characters, but just like scenarios. Mm-hmm. We're not going to get into spoilers, but when you approach the end game, you can feel the suspense. Like, I don't feel that in other Pokemon games. I felt the suspense. I was like, oh shit! Like when we got to the end game, like I don't feel that in other Pokemon games.
You know, I'd agree with you so much, especially about the scenarios, right? Because I feel like oftentimes in a Pokemon game, it can feel a little handholdy, or it can feel like things happen just because, or things happen because they have to move the game and the plot forward. Whereas with this, it was a little bit more natural. It was
yes.
One of the things that I think makes this game stand out so much, at least the reason why it seems to be overwhelmingly positive, the reception, is because it's just so fluid in both gameplay and the way it unveils its plot and its characters. It's always taking its time and not just trying to jump you over into the next town, into the next badge.
I love that. Like the pacing was so good for this game in terms of story as well.
Which again is not anything that we're typically used to. I'm personally I'm I guess what you'd call a Sword and Shield apologist. I really enjoyed that game.
I like Sword and Shield too.
Yeah.
I need the DLC to say that. But
me too.
But the final part of Sword and Shield, I love it. It's among my favorite Pokemon games.
Likewise, and for me, I know a big reason for that was just the wild area, because I love the idea that you could just drop me in the sandbox, I could run around, I can see the Pokemon with my own eyes, and you sort of create this environment where I'm always bumping into something new, there's always something new to catch, etc., etc. So I almost feel like this game plucked the best stuff out of Sword and Shield and almost kind of turned it into its own unique experience. I don't know. I much prefer being a Pokemon researcher than a Pokemon trainer. What do you think?
I like a little bit of both. I think I'm more on the research side, to be honest, in terms of Pokemon. But you said you like the wild area. Like, this game is like 5 different areas with like 3 wild areas in each of them. Mm-hmm. Like, what? And not only that, you get overworld shinies. What more could you ask for people like us in terms of researching?
Is that what, I've been a little confused. When I'm looking at the world map, if there's an icon of a certain Pokemon in an area, is that the game telling me there's a shiny version of that Pokemon in that area?
Yeah, there could be. There could be
Oh,
because every single Pokemon that can spawn that's not a single encounter in the game can be shiny.
really?
Yeah.
That's so crazy. I mean, you've already racked up a number of shinies yourself. Would you care to share with the class?
I'd love to set up a class. So what's funny is my first encounter, my very first shiny encounter was an alpha shiny gold duck. And
Not
I
just
was
shiny, alpha shiny.
alpha shiny,
Let's
yeah.
go.
It was the first gold duck I saw in the game and the first shiny I saw in the game. And I put my reaction on YouTube and on TikTok and on Twitter. I try to post that everywhere because it was like
It was
because
awesome. Man.
because when I saw it, I didn't know that alphas could be shiny. Like because I'm
Me
like
either
I'm,
until you brought it up in the pre-roll 10 minutes ago.
yeah, I'm just riding along on Weird Deer, and I see like a shiny sparkle, and I'm like,
Could
wait,
it be?
wait, what's happening here? So I go over and I Gold Duck is a little it's not a subtle shiny, but it's like a shiny that you kind of have to look at a little bit closer.
Because isn't
To
it just like a
tell if it's
lighter
shiny.
shade of blue? Like the same one with the
It-
Psyduck?
It's kind of like the same. I think it's the closer. It's close to its original Sega Blue, but it's got like a red beak.
Gotcha. Gotcha. And you caught yourself. Well, I mean, and for people who haven't played, an alpha Pokemon is sort of like, I don't want to call it the new gimmick, right? Like the way Gigantamax kind of was, but
Right.
it's a new introduction, if I'm not mistaken. Alphas are pretty exclusive to this game, right? Because I haven't heard of them before
Correct.
this. Yeah.
Correct.
I think it's cool because one, like you're just walking in the fields and you're like, oh, there's that Pokemon I love, and you just see they have these big like laser red eyes, and it's like,
Yeah.
it's so funny. When I
Yeah.
first started the game, my reaction was like, okay, avoid that. But now it's like every time I see that, I have to jump into it.
Yeah.
Again-
I'm the same way.
And for me, I think the biggest thing about this game, I know at least on my end, is just the gameplay loop. Like it never gets boring. It never feels like, how do I put this? It's like I was saying to you earlier, you could plot me anywhere in that game, anywhere on the map, drop me anywhere on the map. All I have to do is pick a direction and there's something for me to do. There's a Pokemon I need to research more. There's a side quest that's fulfilled in that area. There's a satchel for me to pick up. There's a tree to harvest berries. There's a, diet, like a big rock formation to harvest some like materials. Like just between the crafting, the harvesting, the catching, the researching, the battling, the shinies, the alpha, the stories. It's just, there's so much. And it's like, no matter what you do, you feel like you're fulfilling your duty. And it just, as a gameplay loop, it just gets so addicting because you just always feel like you're moving forward, even when you do the slightest little thing.
Honestly, I could play this game for I could take a week off of work and play this game for 7 days in a row and want more and still want more. I could play the game for like, let's just say, we'll call it 15 hours a day. If I play this game for 15 hours a day for a week, I would still want more. There was that much replay value, and there's that much to do to keep you occupied for a very long time. That's
Oh, and that's the thing. You won't
that's
be
what-
done. Your Pokedex won't be done. Go ahead
it
and
won't
do
be
it.
done. No, it
Yeah.
won't. It won't be. It won't be. That is how good this game is. Like I can't remember a Pokemon game that was like this. I know you can like shiny hunt in every Pokemon game. And I know that has its own replay value of its own, but you can do that in this game. You could do many more things. You have to research all the Pokemon to get to your end goal, which is pretty obvious what that is, but I'm not going to say what it is.
Of course. I'll also say one thing that made this experience so fresh, and Sun and Moon tried to do this. I feel like they didn't have any like strong enough ideas at the time, but just not going from gym to gym and town to town anymore really changed a lot for me. Because don't get me wrong, Jubilife City is awesome. I love it. I think it's a great hub world. If I could have everything I wanted, there would have been like 10 Jubilife cities I could have cycled between. But you didn't need it because the game isn't about the hub worlds. The game is about those sandboxes where you can go catch the Pokemon.
Yeah.
But for me, like just the change of direction, right? Because, you know, whether it was Sword and Shield or Diamond and Pearl, two of the most recent campaigns, you're following this linear path where it's like you go to this place and then you got to go to Gym 2 and Gym 3. And it's not even like you could do the gyms in your own order. And I don't know. It's like, and maybe this is one of the reasons why Breath of the Wild really stuck with me. I kind of love giving the gamer the power and letting them pick their path. You know, at the end of the day, like the plot still unfolds pretty linearly, but in terms of what you want to do, it's pretty non-linear. Like one thing I guess is a soft spoiler, not going to give away any of the story, but I'm sure everyone's seen in the trailers that you level up your stars as a researcher, right? You could be a 1-star researcher, 2, 3, 4, etc. Like you can finish the campaign as like a 2-star researcher if you want, or you can work your way up and finish as a 10-star researcher. And there's stuff about that I love so much because it's telling the player like, hey, take this at your own pace. Do this as you will.
I think I have to correct you on that. I think the game makes you get to 5 stars.
Does it make you get to 5? Because I got up to 7 before I went to the.
It makes you get up to 5 because before I played last night, I got to 5 like the night before, and I had to do that before. I had to do that before I had to move on with the story.
Gotcha.
So it does.
Okay,
it does make
limit
you
to a degree.
It does make you go to 5 stars, but at the same time, you don't have those. If you don't want to do the story right away, you can still do all those things that you said what you wanted to do.
Yeah, that's the thing is there's no shortage of things to do. And, you know, not that this is what brings us into a Pokemon game, but I also thought the avatar customization was really good in this one.
I agree.
Yeah, and not in the sense that they give you the most choices, but that most choices, whether it be, you know, the way your character looks or the outfits they could wear, a lot of the choices are really cool. Like, there's some cool outfits you could hook your trainer up in this game. It's awesome.
I got that Galaxy outfit. I got the Shaman pants. In those Team Galaxy shoes.
Dude, I got there's like the karate uniform, there's like the ninja uniform, there's like all
bad
this
drip.
Dude, lots of drip. Lots and lots of drip. But what is particularly your favorite thing about the game?
My favorite thing about the game, my particular favorite thing about the game, that's a hard question to answer for me. To be honest, there's so many things to do. Is like,
what's the first thing? The first thing in your head doesn't have to be your favorite thing, but what's the first thing that pops in your head?
I'll say sometimes I just like riding along on Weird Deer. Like I just like cruising along on Weird Deer and seeing those random signings. Because I've seen 3 random signings so far, and it's fun. It's fun if it's like cruising on Weird Deer and you hear that sparkle sound and your ears pop up. I'm like, where is it? but yeah, I like the distortion riffs too.
Oh, the space-time riffs. I found some cool stuff in there.
Yeah,
dude.
there's some dope shit in those for real.
That's one way to get me to stop doing the campaign immediately. If I get that notification, there's a space-time rift in your area.
I'm going there. Let's go, baby. Let's fight.
It doesn't matter what I was doing. If I was doing the campaign, if I was just trying to complete the Pokedex.
Take on the big boys.
Yeah, dude. Once I see that, I'm like, we're going. And that's, again, just another thing on top of everything else where it's like, there's all this novelty and all this different stuff to do. You know, because for so long, I feel like Pokemon was like, it was always about, even though the phrase was gotta catch them all, the games were just about being the best trainer, being the strongest trainer. That's how you got to the end, was just being the strongest. Right. Don't get me wrong, like you obviously have to win battles to finish this campaign, but it's a different idea now. It's not about, even though Pokemon's always been about like the trainer's love for Pokemon, I feel like Arceus makes it way more profound because you live in a world where people are terrified of Pokemon. And you're almost like this outlier who's like, no, they like, not that they don't think Pokemon are friends or can be friends, but you're sort of this outlier where you're like, oh no, Pokemon are friends. They actually are underneath it gentle and loving creatures. But like us, they can be territorial. Like us, they can be worked up into a frenzy based on variables. I just feel like it means so much more in this game. The quote unquote idea that the trainer avatar has a love for Pokemon. I felt it much more in this game.
Yeah, I definitely felt that too. And like you said, like this game, it felt like it gave you an initiative to want to catch them all. And I hope that I know like I know Legends is its own like thing, but I hope like maybe in the future that it gives you like the main games give you more of an incentive than just for Shiny Charm to want to catch them all.
Yeah, and it's not even about, again, I said this to you in the pre-roll. It's like
Yeah.
1 week ago, Lanz, if you called me and you're like, listen, Landy, I'll pay you. I want you to Badoof Hunt. I want you to go out there. I want you to catch 25 Badoofs. And then I want you to catch a Badoof with this move. And I want you to watch Badoof do this. And you have all these different tasks about Badoof. I'd be like, Lanz, you couldn't pay me to do that. Meanwhile, I just gave Game Freak $60 to catch 25 Badoofs, watch it use a certain move X amount of times, sneak up on it successfully 15 times. Suddenly, Badoof became a really enjoyable part of my gameplay. And that's not to rip on Badoof. But it's kind of the idea where it's like the normal, like weaker Pokemon you find in the beginning of a game, like a Badoof, suddenly you're really incentivized to interact with that Pokemon a lot now. How many times have you evolved it and stuff? And it's like now you're evolving Pokemon multiple times, And also, can we just talk about like some of the quality of life upgrades? That like now instead of making you press B or finding a way to cancel it, when your Pokemon reaches a certain level, it's now like eligible to evolve, and it's at your discretion whether or not you evolve it. And there's tons of these sort of little quality of life upgrades.
I like that.
Yeah.
I never thought of that, but like it makes you press it gives you the option to evolve it. Like you don't have to like press B once evolving. It's like hey, it's eligible to evolve. And it has like glowing like light. It's like your call.
Exactly. By the way, while we're at it, I want to give a quick shout out to both Damn Amazing and Hey Luna hanging in the chat right now.
Yo, DA Luna, what's good?
I do want to bring up Hey Luna, one of Hey Luna's comments that said, "And the music, Chef's Kiss." And I
agree.
could not.
I agree.
Best Pokemon soundtrack?
In the main games?
In the main games.
I can't commit to that idea yet, but it's really good.
Okay.
It could compete.
Can it compete?
It can compete. Yes.
Okay.
It can compete. I can't give it a title yet. If that title might belong to Gold and Silver or original Gold and Silver Crystal, but Legends OST is really good, especially the nighttime music.
Yes.
Love that nighttime music.
Now, I want to get into the title here. Lanz, is this the best Pokemon game ever?
Yes.
I happen to agree. I think at the very least, it's the best since Heart Gold, Soul Silver. That game's always going to have a soft spot in my heart because Gold and Silver was my favorite. And I felt like Heart Gold, Soul Silver was like a dream of a remake. Like a real dream of a remake. I think they topped it. To me, I was saying this to you before too, like, to me, this is Pokemon now. Don't get me wrong, if they made a Gen 9 where it's trainers and a Pokemon League and being the best, I'll be there. But to me, it's like, now this is what Pokemon is to me. I want to be the researcher. I want to go from legendary to legendary, gathering the information.
If there was a Pokemon Direct and there was two trailers, there was a Gen 9 trailer with all these new Pokemon and a second trailer that was the next Legends game, whether it be Mew or Celebi or Genesect or Deoxys, I pop off of a Legends trailer to be. Yeah. I mean, I'd be excited about both, but like, you're gonna get that extra oof out of me with a Legends trailer.
But I wonder how they're gonna handle that. How would it? And maybe I'm missing something. Fill me in. how would that work for gold and silver, right? Because you had Lugia and Ho-Oh. I guess you would just pursue them in that fashion.
Wait, oh, what do you mean?
Like, was there like because how do you put it? It's in Kanto, right? You had a number of legendaries. You had Articuno, Moltres, Zapdos, Mewtwo, but Mew kind of sits above them all. You know, kind of the way Arceus sits above the other two. Correct me if I'm wrong. Heart Gold and Soul Silver, didn't it stop at like Lugia and Ho-Oh, or was there one above them?
Celebi was a mythical.
That was it. Okay. There we go. That's what I'm looking for.
Celebi is another good option because it can time travel. I think that's really dope. They can time travel.
And that fits right in with this too.
Yeah.
So we talked about how, obviously we're big fans of this game.
Absolutely.
But we don't want to spoil the story. So let's maybe talk about the characters for a little bit.
Yes, absolutely.
Who are some of the more standout characters for you in this game?
I really like I like Volo. I think Volo is an ancestor of Cynthia.
I would say so.
It's pretty I think it's pretty obvious. Mm-hmm. And then there's a couple ancestors in this game, like what's her name? I can't remember her name.
Give me something.
The one who looks like Cyrus. Celine.
Okay.
Celine. Oh, her name even sounds like Cyrus. But Celine looks like an ancestor of Cyrus of Team Galaxy.
Yeah.
That is his name, like Cyrus. I'll look him up. I think that's his name.
I think you're right. Somebody correct us if they know.
Okay. And then there's a ancestor I forgot her name too. Man, I'm so we're talking about the main people I remember are Ariga and Adaman. Those are my two favorite characters.
And what's funny when they show
Arisu is the ancestor of Mars.
Wait, and do you think what's her name? Is it Xian? Blue hair? Short blue hair? What's her name again? She runs the academy in Jubilee.
I think she's the ancestor of Cyrus.
Yeah. Which is crazy. But dude,
I like those little.
There are a lot of Diamond and Pearl nods all over that.
Yeah,
game.
I like those cool little Easter eggs that they showed there. I enjoy that, but I liked Agaman and I liked Ariga. I thought I really enjoyed their banter. Who's the guy who was responsible for the Avalug? He was a shirtless guy in the blizzard.
Yeah, with the blue markings on his body. Yeah. That dude's a sicko. That's a certified sicko.
That's a sicko.
And
Ariga is a sicko too. She was out here in a tube top and like soaks in the like what are these characters doing? It's funny. It was funny. It was funny to see them side to side and it's like, oh, you guys freezing? Like what is going on here?
Well, I also thought like watching the banter between Adamon and Irida evolve too, right? Because as the game, like without giving too much away, the game starts and Adamon's from the Diamond Clan, Irida's from the Pearl Clan, so they butt heads and clash a lot. Like there's a disharmony. But you see throughout the game, there's a growth in their dynamic. And again, without giving away too much, it's very much in line with what's happening in the story. And it's just cool to see, like, for lack of a better term, a more fundamental society in Pokemon, right? Where like they weren't like you have two different clans who think they're talking to one. Like I'm not going to give away too much, but anyway, they think they're talking to God. You know, you have these two clans who think they're talking to God and they can't agree about space or time and any of that. And it's just good to see that it's like the sort of conclusions they jump to when they lacked the resources or sort of lacked the knowledge. That the Sinnoh region wasn't even named the Sinnoh region yet. You kind of see everything in like this. It's almost like the Sinnoh region's larva state.
Indeed. That's a good comparison to describe the Hisui region.
Yeah, and I really enjoyed it. And speaking of the Hisui region, look, let me just say something. I love it when you can go back to something that was made 20, 30 years ago and put a little fresh coat of paint on it to make it look brand new. And I think the great example, Hisuian Growlithe and Hisuian Arcanine. Just better designs than the original. I love it.
Fun fact. The thumbnail, the thumbnail of me from this?
Yeah.
That's from my reaction of Arcanine.
It looks so cool,
I
dude.
love it. It is the greatest Pokemon of all time. No, I'm kidding, but like it might be like that was so much fun seeing Arcanine. That was just such a fun reveal.
Really,
it looks so fucking good.
So fucking good. The design's right. He just looks more like a weird combo of fierce and goofy.
What's its type? I don't even know what his type is.
Is it fire? Is it fire dark? Why do I think it's like, hold on, Hisuian Arcanine.
I have no idea what its type is. I've never looked it up.
I got you. I have one in my party and I don't even know. So let's check this out.
I don't even have one yet.
Fire Rock. That's what he is.
Fire Rock. Okay, that makes sense.
Fire Rock. I guess I just got mixed up because I taught him a bunch of
That's
dark
a great
moves.
typing. Holy, that was an amazing typing.
Yeah, it's almost like they wanted it to be awesome.
Like, what's it weak against? Like fighting it's weak against fighting types.
Well, if it's Fire Rock, then water is going to completely kill it. Like completely destroy it.
Water fighting. I think that might be it.
Yeah, just water and fighting, but it's pretty awesome, especially since you don't see a lot of fighting Pokemon pop up.
Great typing.
Great typing, amazing design. Any other Hisuian forms that may have stood out to you?
The Sigzurai.
Really? Okay.
I love the Sigzurai.
I think it's pretty cool too. When I first saw it, I was a little let down because I prefer the older the Alolan version.
I prefer Alolan too, but I think this one's really cool too. But
when I saw him in action, it won me over.
I love Alolan, so that's why
I still
it wasn't going to compete with. I mean, it can compete with Alolan, but I love it. I'm a fan. I love the samurai look. Like it's a sick Pokemon.
It's sick.
And I had to see the flames, but I really like Typhlosion too.
Typhlosion's form is pretty awesome. The poison fucking mane that it has. So cool. And look, now that we're on it, all of the interfaces in Arceus are remarkable, particularly the battle. The battle interface is so good, and just adding something as simple as agility move and strong move, dude. I'm thinking up strategies I never used to think up when I'm playing Pokemon. Suddenly now when how do I put this? I'm fighting a Pokemon, right? And it's got 10 HP left, but I have the type advantage. Now I'm going to use Agile mode because I don't need all that power. I'll use Agile mode, take out that little bit so that my guy might get to go first on the next move.
Yeah.
It's all, and now I'm in these situations too where I'm like, hey, this Pokemon's 10 levels higher than me, but with the type advantage, if I put on the power move, I might one-hit him. And then I
might one-shot, yeah.
You just start thinking in all these different ways now. And now when you're hunting Pokemon, you can just put on Agile mode so you make sure you don't kill them. It weakens your moves.
Yeah, I've done that so many times.
Just it adds so much. It's such a simple thing to add, but it just expands the combat so much.
Indeed.
It's so exciting, dude. I hope the main lines do this too.
There's some things I really want them to take from this, like battles, freaking we are talking about battles, but the battle like what attacks look like. Yeah. Like you can see the battle animations have never been better.
Never been.
The battle animations look better than freaking what a stadium game would have.
Exactly.
Or a Battle Evolution, those are better than those games. I mean, obviously this is a couple of generations ago, but the philosophies and Pokemon actually hit each other and it feels like a battle. It's not like it's not like, oh, this person doesn't attack, this Pokemon doesn't attack, and like it's stationary. It like they actually attack the other Pokemon. I think that's
Yep.
so fucking dope.
I think it's incredible. I think it adds to it. You know,
Yes.
it adds to the theater of it all, right? Watching it
Yes.
unfold, it makes it feel
Yes.
more real and more exciting. Um, and I just love how, like, when it comes to catching Pokemon, right? Different Pokemon favor different like senses. You know what I mean? There's some Pokemon who are listening for you. There are some Pokemon that are like looking for you.
Yes.
Like, there's different sort of sensories depending on what the Pokemon is. And it's little details like that that I absolutely love, and that you're actually incentivized. That if you could actually sneak up behind the Pokemon, doesn't it make it more likely that you'll catch it?
Yes.
Yeah. So
It'll like it does like a special like the it'll like the game will let you know if you snuck up on it. Like
yeah, it's like an
the
extra
effect,
pop on the
the-
Pokeball.
Yes, exactly. That's what I was trying to get at. But if the pop is greater.
Yeah, and it feels good. It does all those little things too, right? Like if you sneak up on a Pokemon, it gives you that extra like pop on the Pokeball, and like that just like it just feels good. You know,
It feels good, yeah.
It feels good, and you're like, oh, I want to do that every time because that felt powerful. You know,
It did.
and like I like you're saying. I just hope they hold. I mean, the game's gonna sell remarkably well. There are people
I
who
hope
have
so.
who have just been off the Pokemon train that have hopped right back on. And like to
Yeah.
me, this game came at the perfect time because
Really
I
did.
played the Diamond and Pearl remakes. I liked them. I enjoyed it. It was my first experience with Gen 4. But when I got to the end of it, I
Oh,
was like,
really?
yeah, it was I never played. I missed Gens 4, 5, and 6. I've covered every other one.
Okay.
But now I played through Gen 4, and I had a good time with it, right? But I didn't feel like I fell in love with the Sinnoh region the way everybody who talked me into playing Gen 4 talked it up. And I felt like I came away from the Diamond and Pearl remakes like, am I really going to keep on doing this campaign over and over every gen? Am I going to really sign up for this over? I don't know. I started feeling a little Pokemon fatigue. But now I play this game, it's gone. Pokemon is something not completely new to me now, but it's evolved. No pun intended, right? Pokemon has finally
Absolutely.
evolved into its next form, and it feels good. And I don't know, man. I just saw like, for example, like I had a time last night when I was playing after I finished the campaign, and I went back to the first area. And you know, there's some Pokemon like Psyduck who don't even run away from you. They kind of just look at you all derpy like. So I was in this area where I'm running through this field of Psyducks. I'm like throwing a Pokeball at that one, and then a Pokeball at that one, and then I'm throwing my Raichu at the tree to get the berries, and then I'm throwing my Espeon at the rock to get the materials. And it's like I've got these like I threw out like 5 different Pokeballs, and they're all doing different things in a span of like 10 seconds. And it's like in a matter of 10 seconds, you can catch 3 Pokemon, harvest berries, and harvest crafting materials. It's just almost insane. It's like I'm almost excited to see what some of the like cracked things people are gonna do in the wild area of this game.
Can't do this in any other Pokemon game.
No,
You can't.
no, and now your Pokemon.
This is a one of a kind experience.
Exactly, and I think it's amazing that now Pokemon don't need to freaking do battle to gain XP. You know what I'm saying? Them knocking down the berries off the tree, that gets the
Yeah.
XP.
Yeah.
The rocks, the piles of snow, all this stuff. Using your Pokemon to farm resources boosts their experience. And just more of that, please, you know? Like, it makes it feel so real. You know, like the Pokemon aren't there just to be fighting machines. You know, they're there to help you craft potions. They're there to help you harvest materials. And I love, too, that you could, even though your Pokemon can't follow you, like, have you, like, thrown your whole team out and just, like, kind of let them hang out?
I've not done that yet. I've seen people do that though.
Yeah,
I've
you
seen
could throw all
people put
6
on
out,
Switch.
and they'll just be hanging out. Man,
I need to do that after this.
yeah, that dude, it doesn't get old. It's very, there's something
I
oddly
want to see
satisfying about it.
Tysplosion and Decidueye right next to each other.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine?
I can. Yeah, I am right now actually. After we finish here, that's what I'm going to do.
I mean, why wouldn't you? But I mean, dude, like, where does Pokemon go from here? Like, is this it now? Is this it?
Here's what I think we're going to do. So every generation, it's like a pattern that Pokemon does. So there was a cycle where they do the mainline game. And they do either a sequel or a remake to that mainline game, and then they release, and then that's it. That's all. That's all. Sun and Moon was. If you don't count Let's Go, I mean, you
Okay.
can't have to count Let's Go, but wait, maybe we're on a Let's Go cycle now. Maybe we're going to see another Let's Go.
I'll take a Let's Go Johto, but it's so
Yeah,
funny. To me, it's like I don't, not that I don't care, but it's like I want more of this.
yeah,
I
exactly. So
okay,
hey,
Arceus DLC or Let's Go Johto. What do you want?
come on.
Yeah, exactly.
We want that. We want that. We want that Arceus DLC,
Yeah, give me
baby.
2 new regions, baby. Give me
So
2
I
more
think what's going to happen
sandboxes.
is they'll have the Gen 9. I think it's going to be a Gen 9, like they're going to make like a remake, like a not a remake. They're going to make like a final mix version of it, like they did with like Alpha Sun and Ultra Moon. I think it's going to be like that for the next gen. And then I think we'll get like a Let's Go Johto. And then for Gen 10, I think we're going to get the Gen 10 game with the DLC. Then you'll see the Black and White remakes, because they do remakes every other generation. And then I think that's when we'll get our next Legends game.
Okay.
I think we should get a Legends game every generation, if I'm being completely honest.
I mean, I'm not complaining. I'll take it. Pump them out.
Yeah.
Pump them out as long as they're this quality. What would
And
you do?
if they
Go ahead.
go ahead.
No, you
I
go
was going
ahead.
to say, what if we did do? I mean, I don't know when we're talking about 2 generations from now, but if they did do in Gen 10 Black and White remakes, that's a perfect opportunity to come out with a Legends Genesect game.
Yes.
I would play the fuck. I would play the fuck out of that. I'll play the fuck out of any Legends game. Honestly, give me Legends Badoof. I'll play the fuck out of that.
Legends Badoof.
I'll play that. Give me Legends Krabby or Legends a Legends Weagle.
Nah, let's be real. You and I want Legends Mew.
Yes, we
Give
do.
me Legends Mew.
Yes.
I'm all in. Just give it.
Oh my.
I'm just so like proud of them. Pokemon had every reason to keep reusing the same formula. Let's just be honest. It's the most profitable franchise in existence. Like,
Absolutely.
more people recognize Pikachu than Mickey Mouse in the modern day. Like, they had every reason to just keep cookie cuttering and using the same formula time and time again. And let's be honest, it is a formula that works. Before Legends, we all signed up for Gen 8. We are all probably going to sign up for Gen 9, not knocking it.
Yeah.
But
We have another potential another option if Legends becomes an ongoing series.
and I don't see any reason why it wouldn't. Game Freak should be commended, and I mean this. Game Freak should seriously be commended.
Absolutely.
Even if it's
100%.
screwed up. Even if Arceus screwed up and this game
They
wasn't
tried.
good.
They tried to do something different.
And that should always be celebrated, especially in a form of entertainment like gaming, where innovation is what brings us our best experiences. And now,
100%.
if Arceus sells as well as it looks like it's selling, you've now incentivized Game Freak. You've shown them that evolving your gameplay can lead to better sales. And that can take the Pokemon series to new heights. Because I swear, the people who listen to this podcast are going to be tired of me freaking saying this. But, when Red, Blue, Gold, and Silver came out, Pokemon was like the forefront. Like, they were paving the way. They were trailblazers. You had a full-blown Monster Hunter RPG on a handheld Game Boy. Like,
Yeah, Gold and
what?
Silver, in my opinion, was the peak of Pokemon.
Yeah, especially when you consider post-game content. Like, what game had the post-game content Pokemon Gold and Silver had back then? Like, none. You didn't see it. Zero. You didn't see it. But, now we're in this era where now Game Freak is stepping it up again. And look, I don't know. I don't think they'll ever get to be the forefront of an RPG again. Not that Pokemon in its day was like the forefront, but you know what I mean when it's like it was a heavy hitter in terms of innovation.
Yeah.
Back when those games came out, we didn't see a whole lot of stuff like that before. So I'm not going to sit here and say Pokemon's going to start making RPGs that can compete with Persona and Final Fantasy if you try to break it down to an objective standpoint. But what I will tell you is, like, they're now going to innovate just as much. And their games may not be, because at the end of the day, if you publish exclusively with Nintendo, your hardware is going to be limited compared to your competitors. But what I think Arceus shows us is, you don't have to have the best graphics for a game to look good and play well.
Big facts, super facts.
Yeah, and I've heard some people complain about the way Arceus looks, and it's like, yes, guys, it doesn't look like a PS5. Yes, guys, maybe it's not as pretty as Breath of the Wild, but it still looks good. It still looks fluent. Did you notice any frame rate drops?
Yes, I do. Actually, a lot. I kind of make fun of myself because, like, I was like, there's like these hills.
Yeah.
You can see it flickering. I was like, come on, Game Freak, what the fuck are you doing? I'm kidding. I'm not gonna freak out about this. I was making fun of myself even pointing that out. But it's kind of, I've seen some frame rate drops, like Rapidash and Ponyta's Flames kind of has issues. But I mean, I'm not gonna like freaking say a game sucks because there's a little bit of frame drop issues, like
especially when that's the kind of stuff that gets patched up later on too. Like I'm sure that's gonna get patched, but okay.
Even if it doesn't, like, it's not gonna ruin my game experience.
Oh god, like, that's not very internet of you, Lanz.
Yeah, you got like that's honestly, I'm gonna be real. That's fucking weird if you let like a frame drop ruin your experience. Like,
unless it's persistent, unless it's like persistent.
Yeah, unless it's obnoxious. Like you said, if it's obnoxious, then yeah. But like, if you see like freaking like Lapidash's flame look weird, and you're like, oh, fucking shit, game on Switch. It's like, man, shut the fuck up.
Shut up. You can get over it. Get
the fuck over it. This game is amazing. This is so much to do, and like you said, this goes to prove you don't have to have the best graphics and the best physics to have a quality product. That's what this game is.
Could not agree more. And at the end of the day, like, there's no ray tracing, but the game looks good, and I think
it looks fantastic.
It looks exactly, and I love. Even down to like the character's fashion. Like, I kind of like the fashion of Jubilife City.
It's dope. It's different, but it's dope. Like, I think like Avisu has like some dope fashion.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like, I think she's got this dark blue and red thing going. I think it's it's a good combo. Like, I think Jubilife Village really does a good job of like showcasing its
I've been calling it Jubilife City this whole time. Only now that you corrected it do I realize it's Village. But anyway,
easy mistake to make.
Easy mistake to make. Forgive me, internet.
Canceled.
Canceled. You haven't made it till you've been canceled.
Well, you make it, buddy.
Yeah. Oh man. Dr. Freeze over on Twitch says, "Give me that Legend Celebi." We were on that wave a little bit.
Yeah, let's get that. Let's get it. Let's fucking get that. Let's get that Celebi, baby.
Yeah, I would love that. I'd love that. And the Legend Sheesh just dropped in here too.
Yo, what's good, Josh? What's good, King?
Happy to have you in here, dude. But I mean, when it comes to Game Freak, do you think they are in danger of being in a situation where they're biting off more than they can chew? Because, we talked about, they've got now, between remaking old games, the Let's Go series, which may or may not, we'll see how that pans out, the mainline gens, and now Arceus, are they spreading themselves too thin? I know they outsourced the last remake, but is that like the price we pay? Are Pokemon remakes now going to be outsourced so that Game Freak can work on these mainline games?
They got so much money. I think we'll figure it out.
That's a good answer, I suppose.
they make so much. They're the biggest like the biggest like entertainment brand in the world,
In the
like
whole
Pokemon
world.
is. They'll figure it out.
All the more reason why them mixing up their formula should not only be commended, but like you should like not that you should feel thankful for a corporation, but you could feel thankful for the developers who work for them.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
they really, and maybe I'm being a little too optimistic here, but I almost feel like we're moving into an age where these companies are actually listening to feedback. You know, like it kind of started with that Sonic the Hedgehog trailer, but then when you look at Pokemon Arceus, it kind of addresses every fan complaint they've ever gotten. Like they were clearly listening.
Yes, they were. And you can even say the same thing for Square Enix, because Nomura even said that that he added the Final Fantasy characters in Remind because
the fans
people
wanted
complained about it. Yeah, he kind of made it sound a little bit negative, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, he did say that that's why they're in the game, is because of fan feedback.
Exactly. And look, at the end of the day, you can't let fans make the decisions. At the end of the day, you need to let the artists, the creators, the developers make the nitty-gritty. But to see that there's clearly a communication loop between like customer and developer and creator.
Yes.
I think that's one of the reasons why you're starting
you
to
need that you need a good balance between that.
Exactly. And I think, it's so funny because every fan base, okay, here we go. Every fan base, every franchise, there's no longer any excuses. If Game Freak can release a game and with the Pokemon fan base get an overwhelmingly positive reaction, so can you. Because Pokemon fans ain't happy with shit. They ain't happy with shit. They asked for Diamond and Pearl remakes for half a decade. They got it and complained. But now, this is like one of the few times, like I haven't seen it since Sora got in Smash, where a fan base is just like happy and agreeing and thankful.
It's very. I don't know too much because I've been like avoiding like Pokemon talk on social media like the plague until today because I beat the game last night. But like you said, overwhelmingly positive. I've seen a couple like bad things. Someone came in my chat last night and said that they don't know how they feel about the game. I kind of like ignored them because I kind of love that negative energy. So, freaking, I'm just seeing mostly, almost entirely positive feedback about Legends Arceus.
Me too, and it's been surprising. Like I had a good feeling about this game. Like when you saw the trailers, you're like, "Oh,
me too." I did.
It's something new. It's something different. This is sure to do well. I didn't think it would be this like tidal wave of positivity. Where again, you've got people that have never have been checked out, either never played Pokemon or were completely checked out, have either come back or decided to give the series a chance. Like, I'm sorry. Like, if you can exist for nearly 3 decades and still find a way to get new customers, you've done something truly special. And I think
big facts. Absolutely.
I think Arceus really, not that Pokemon needed a turning point, but man, oh man, if this franchise gets its shit together, not that it didn't, but really gets it together and keeps making games of this quality, oh, the sky is the limit, Lanz. Like if they're this big now, whoa, this could be crazy. Oh my goodness. But is there anything that we haven't touched on yet that you wanted to touch on?
No, I think we covered everything that we were going to talk. We talked about this Dawson list. We talked about the new forms, the characters, the story a little bit,
gameplay,
the replay value, the gameplay.
I'm going to put hundreds of hours into this game. I know it.
Me too.
I know it.
I'm going to play it like right after we finish.
And I don't blame you. If you're hanging out and you're in the chats, now's a good time to drop any questions in. But I did put something up on my Instagram asking for people's general thoughts on the game, and I just wanted to lend them our ear. So someone who's in the chat now, Dr. Freeze says, I honestly think it's the best Pokemon game ever. Everything you do feels so rewarding, from catching to collecting items. And, we touched on that. Couldn't agree more. And then we have Scott, Sage of the Lodge, who says, probably the best abbreviation for a Pokemon game ever. Which, I agree with that. PLA is pretty good. My boy Mikey, another Sage, says, been playing it for 3 days. Absolutely love it so far. Puts a nice new spin on the old formula. Then my boy Asthmatic Kirby says, listen, I am fucking addicted, in all caps.
Oh, same.
And then
Same.
And then my boy Eric chimes in with simply best one ever made. And then K. Smitty says, I disagree. Oh, God. I disagree. It's a very good game, but I think Donkey Kong is the best game of all time. 90s kids will get that one. But anyway,
DK is pretty lit. Not gonna lie.
Hey Luna on Twitch says, do y'all think this game is any lesser for not having PvP? Sorry if I missed y'all talking about it already. And no, that's a good question. We didn't touch on that at all. Lanz, do you have any thoughts?
We did not. I'm like I said, like this is more like a research game, like you mentioned earlier, and not like so much trying to be the best trainer. So I'm okay with that personally. And it's perfectly valid to for that be a criticism not to have PvP. But for me, personally, for my interest, that doesn't really bother me.
I'm kind of in that same boat. Like I see how that could be what draws somebody to Pokemon. I see how that aspect could be the main draw for them. But to me, and the wild area in Sword and Shield showed me this, was that I'm far more interested in the sort of exploration, discovery, and catching of Pokemon. That's where
Exactly.
I bring up this story all the time, but in Sword and Shield, I was playing, my cousin came over, and Charlotte stayed up, and we were all playing Pokemon. My cousin starts dozing off. Charlotte falls asleep. It's like 2 a.m. I find an Espeon. An Espeon is my favorite evolution. One of my favorite Pokemon. One of my favorites. I find Espeon at 2 a.m. I just scream, yo! Woke everybody up. But it's like,
let's go, baby.
Right? But like, that's what I live for. That moment of, I found it. I found it feels like you found treasure, Sword and Shield showed me that's what gets me the most. And Arceus seems like it's catering to people who really enjoy that. Not that it's not catering to people who enjoy battles, but if you more enjoy the exploration, discovery, capturing, then Arceus really is like a dream game. To me, it's a dream Pokemon game. It's a Pokemon game I felt like I agree. Like 10 years ago, dude, this was just a dream. No way Game Freak would ever do this.
This is a game Pokemon fans have been waiting for so many years. And I think Game Freak delivered with this. Speaking of Espeon, I have a similar story.
Oh.
So I was doing this dosing riffs. Not specifically Espeon, but I was doing this dosing riffs in the morning, and it was gonna be the end of the rift, and a Sylveon pops up. I'm like, oh! I probably wasn't as wild as you were, but I was like, oh!
It's just you pop up.
It ran. It was like kind of like it didn't like fight me. It kind of like ran away, and I popped a grape. I threw a grape ball at it, and as the rift ended, I called it.
Oh, on the way out.
Isn't that lit?
On the way out. That is sick.
On the way out, baby, because they just spawn and disappear when the rift ends. So I called that at the buzzer.
Buzzer Pokemon. Dude, Space Time Rift, one of my favorite things is like getting ganged up on by like 3 Pokemon and having to navigate your way through that, which is something else new entirely for the series, which if you like battles, you sort of have that to deal with. But
I love that.
Earlier today, when I was playing a little bit on my lunch break, that's when I saw the Alpha Empoleon. And I was just flying on Braviary. I wasn't even like, it was like the last 5 minutes, and I was like, you know what, I just kind of want to coast, similar to like if you play Spider-Man on PS4, just web slinging. That's kind of what I was in the mood for. Just want to coast. I'm coasting. And I was like, oh shit! Treehouse in here with a raid!
Oh, yo!
A mid-pod raid. What's going on, Treehouse?
Tree fucking God, what's good, King?
I guess now is the time. Now is as good a time as ever for some shout-outs. So listen, starting with Treehouse, who just got in this raid. If you don't follow Treehouse, then ladies and gentlemen, I cannot do business with you. All the
Big
same,
bounce.
here's a link to today's guest, LanzofMasters. If you don't follow him on Twitch, get the fuck out of here. I don't want you anywhere near here.
Hey, thank you. I appreciate that so much.
I got you, dude. I got you. Everybody should follow Lanz. It's good to see everybody in here. We're talking about Pokemon Legends Arceus. If you have any questions you want to ask us, now is the time to drop it. Treehouse, my dude, thanks for coming in here. Damn, man. I don't even know.
Let's get landing at 300, guys.
300. I am at 293, but I feel like half the people who are in that raid probably already follow, if not most. But I appreciate the
But if you're not, correct that mistake.
Definitely correct that mistake, baby. But dude, I forget what we were talking about. But
you're talking about Emploreon. You caught the Emploreon on your breath.
Yeah, I'm just coasting and I see this thing. And I just had this similar moment as you where I just went like, whoa, is that? And I like descend, I circle, I'm like, oh my God, it is. And then like the way like my brain immediately starts like hatching a plan. I'm like, all right, I'm going to go hide behind this rock, right? And like this goes for all the wild Pokemon too, is like, and this goes into my point about this expanded gameplay that really gives the player the power. One of my moves would be like, if I see a Pokemon I really want, like, I'll throw a Pokeball at it first from a distance, and then while it's trying to get out, I'll sprint to the tall grass near it, duck, it pops out, drop the leaden ball on him. You know, it's just like all these little combinations you could think of. Yeah, just like
savvy. Right. I like it.
I love all that sort of stuff, dude. And this game really opens up that door of like, hey, play the way you want. Let's see what you can think of. You know, I know a lot of people like to toss berries, and like I use smoke bombs and stuff. It's like
I toss a few berries.
Yeah, dude, it's like the Safari Zone on steroids. Which is crazy. Oh, happy birthday, Umbra. I hope it's actually Umbra's birthday. He's the kind of
Umbra's. Yeah, it's Umbra's birthday.
It is Umbra's birthday, because I feel like he would clown me on that. Good day for a podcast. Good to have you in here, dude. But, Lance, we have it going on for an hour here. And we are taking questions if anybody's got any. But I'll ask again. Is there anything that we haven't covered yet that we might want to cover?
I'm glad Luna brought up PvP because we didn't talk about that. I don't think so. I think we covered everything.
Well, I'll ask this. As far as PvP goes, like, can I battle you in Arceus? Like, can we link up and battle? Is that a capability?
I don't know. I don't. We can trade. I know we could trade.
Yeah, I know trading.
I don't think so.
That's interesting, man.
I don't believe so.
And it really would. Go ahead.
You can trade, I believe, but I don't think you can battle. But I might be wrong. So if someone in chat wants to correct me, feel free. But I don't think you battle.
Birthday Boy's got us, man. Says online battles aren't a thing in PLA, just trading. So it truly is like a Poke researcher game, which is pretty interesting. They are going to make this compatible with Pokemon Home, though, right?
Yes. Bat and BDSP will be compatible with Home at some point.
Did they have a date for that yet, or like an estimate, or is it just TDA?
TBA. I think if I had a guess, I would say March.
March. Okay. I mean, springtime is a good time. But what would you improve upon if you could make Legends 2, right? Whatever it's going to be, Mew, Sarah, like whoever. What would you improve upon? Where do you think the game could be polished more?
Voice acting.
I would agree, because as someone, we talked about the characters a little earlier, having love for these characters, if you put a good voice acting performance behind a lot of these characters like Adamon, they're suddenly way more compelling and interesting. So I think I would agree with that.
And I think, they don't even have to do it for like the main games. They could just do it for like license. Pokemon Snap had voice acting.
True, Pokemon.
New Pokemon Snap had voice actors in it.
That's a good point. But I guess that's Bandai Namco, I know that. But you know what? If Bandai Namco could do it,
Game Freak.
Nintendo and Game Freak could do it.
Yeah.
Flash Step says, I think if the game is received well, which first time chat, hey, welcome Flash Step, welcome into the lodge.
Welcome, Flash Step.
Friend of Tree is a friend of mine. I think if the game is received well, Game Freak will make a DLC expansion for the game. I feel like we're already there. I think
we're getting it. I think
they're already working on it. I think they'd be foolish not to. This is easily the most positively reviewed game they've put out in at least a decade.
And it's hard to think. It's hard to think about. You know, a game is good when DLC is going to enhance it. It's not going
Correct.
to. Like if this game didn't have DLC, I'd be okay with it. But
that's such a good point too. I've got so much ahead of me for this game. Honestly, the last thing I need is for you guys to give me more campaign right now.
Yeah, exactly.
I've got so much work to do. Okay, I'm only a 7-star man. I need to be a 10-star man, and that's going to take a lot of work.
Yeah, this is not like KX3 or Sword and Seal where it needs DLC.
It needs a little patching.
To make it needs you need that DLC to make a complete experience. Like the complete experience is available on day one, and that's why this game is so good. This is a game that's going to be talked about for decades, in my opinion.
Yep, Flash Step. Well, hey, Luna says 0% chance they don't make DLC. It's free real estate money, which, yeah, it's
big facts.
It's huge facts.
I would pay for DLC. Absolutely.
I'd pre-order it now if they announced it. Flash Step says, I hope they are because it's so much fun. I'm 40 hours in and I'm still hyped playing the game. I feel similar. I'm 30 hours in and it still feels fresh. I have an itch to play it throughout the day. And that's always good when you have a game like that.
Big facts.
Luna also says, as a naysayer of open world, this game is amazing. They knocked it out of the park. Yeah, I think they really just captured the exploration and discovery, right? Like
they did.
They really captured that, and they made the area. It's funny, right? Because if you're and this is why I'm glad Diamond and Pearl came out just before. Because if you're familiar with Sinnoh at all, like you see all the Easter eggs, all the winks scattered around. So like it makes a whole new area also feel familiar, which is also like a very like unique sort of like direction to capture, and they did a good job doing that.
Absolutely.
All right, Lanz. So the verdict's in. You and I believe this is the best Pokemon ever.
Indeed.
That's an opinion. That's a hill I'll die on.
I'll die. I have that with you, bro.
Right. Perfect. Good. Better to die in arms than alone.
Indeed.
If not Arceus, what would you say the best Pokemon game is?
Gold and Silver. OG.
Gold and Silver OG? Okay. I'm with you. I would just say Heart Gold, Soul Silver, because I think I have a thing for pixel art. I think it's so beautiful. I think a lot of game developers are silly to not continue with pixel art. I think especially for a lot of like indie RPGs, it can look stunning. But I would say Heart Gold, Soul Silver. But with that said, I really think Game Freak, when again they had every reason to keep doing the same formula over and over, but they heard the fans wanted something more,
and they took a risk.
They took a risk. They gave it a shot,
and they hit that home run. They hit that home run, baby.
Oh, it's out of the park.
That's a full 50 home run, baby. That's how good this is.
And you know what? It's not even a solo shot. It's at least a 2-run homer because this one home run.
I think it's a grand fucking slam.
Grand slam, dude. Yeah. Hell yeah. I mean, I was just going to say like 2-run homer. It's like, oh, this one home run has guaranteed I buy another Legends game. But you're right. I'm probably going to buy 3 more Legends games. But Jesus. I don't know, man. I'm just so happy. I would have been fine if Pokemon stuck with the same formula because the games are fun. It's a good campaign. The Pokemon world is fun to be in. But they really took everything to the next level here and just gave the fans what they wanted and elevated the Pokemon experience. Do you think there's going to be like a hybrid game in the future where do you think Gen 9 is going to drag and drop a lot of features out of Legends Arceus? Like, are we going to hunt for Pokemon in Gen 9 the way we hunted for them in Arceus? Or do you think they're really going to keep the two experiences separate? Or do you think they're
going to keep them separately? And I think that's, you want people who want that traditional RPG experience in in the normal Pokemon games. But there's gonna be people like who want that Legends gameplay.
Oh yeah.
So I think I would love a hybrid personally. But I
I
mean, it's not impossible. It's not impossible. I mean, you got like Final Fantasy 16 that has the Devil May Cry freaking Al developer in it. So I mean, if that's a thing, then I mean, it's possible they can take things from Arceus and put them in the mainline games. But I don't think they'll do that. I think they'll keep them both separate entities for
I I think so
for years
too.
to come.
I think so too. I think they'd be smart to sort of keep them separate. But I think you're going to start to see. Imagine Sword and Shield with better graphics and a better campaign. I think that's all they really need to do.
And overworld signings.
An overworld shine. You heard it from the master himself.
Overworld signings.
Game Freak.
You can keep the signings in the grass and in the eggs too. That's fine. But for like areas that have like wild area kind of inspirations, we need overworld signings.
Oh yeah.
Diamond and Pearl struck out with that in the underground, and and with it in Arceus, that in the positive reception, hopefully that they make that a thing. If they take anything from Arceus, I want overworld signings. I want to be cruising on my bike and see that little sparkle in the corner of my eye, and that's a exhilarating feeling. I want that in my main line. I mean, I know Arceus is main line, but I want that in my Gen 9 game.
Yeah, I would go for it too. If you could just take a lot of that exploration and discovery and implement that into like Gen 9, I think it would make a lot of people happy. I definitely, with Umbra's sentiment here, says having a series of more mature / ambitious games and then having a series that keeps a formula for kids seems like a good idea. And
yes,
I think
that's for business.
I think that's right on the money. Luna says, I think the openness of Arceus, but with a storyline like Stadium, where you're boxing with Pokemon, maybe? Boxing? I don't know what he meant by that. Maybe he meant a different word. Fleshstep says, I don't think we can go back to that style of gameplay. I think Pokemon Legends is the future of Pokemon, and if they go back to the original formula,
I'd love that.
Then it'd be a shame.
I would love that.
I mean, me too. I mean, I almost feel like that kid from the commercial. Like, why not both? Why not both? But if I had to pick one, it would be this. This is this is what I would want them.
I think they do. If they do both, I think but I think that's the best case scenario to do both. But if I had to pick one, like you said, let's keep it like Arceus.
Exactly. But
more fun.
Mr. LanzofMasters, it appears that we have run out of time. But before we leave, I want you to put in a final word on Arceus, your final thoughts, and then let the people know where they could find you and what it is you do.
My final word is that it's my favorite Pokemon game of all time, my favorite experience, and we're only 5 days into playing it, and there's gonna be many more days and many more hours put into this. But if you don't know, I'm Lanz and I am a master. I play a lot of Pokemon. I play a lot of Kingdom Hearts. I do a lot of challenge ones for Kingdom Hearts, and I heard it's Umbra's birthday today. So if you allow me to, Landy, I want to sing Umbra a song.
The floor is yours, LanzofMasters.
Umbra, this is for you, my friend. Zugalu, perf, Zugalu. Zugalu, perf, Zugalu. Zugalu, perf, Zugalu, perf. Zugalu, perf, Zugalu. Oh, you Landy. Show's over, bro.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. I want to give some thank yous out there. First of all, a huge, huge thank you to our man, LanzofMasters. Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't follow him, I just can't fucking do business with you. I don't want to see your face. I don't want to hear about your grandma. Follow LanzofMasters or else you lose. You lose, bottom line. Anyway, there's a lot of thank yous. I also want to give out big shout outs to the Sages of the Lodge, our newest Sage of the Lodge, Jordan Krupka especially, and then everybody who dropped in these chats, baby, whether you got Damn Amazing over on YouTube who has migrated over here to Twitch, whether we're talking about our newest follower, Six Hat Shane, who recently followed and dropped a subscription with Prime. Thank you for that, Shane.
Oh my goodness.
Major shout out to Treehouse for his raid with a party of 10. And now, if you're here, if you're on Twitch, don't go nowhere. If you're on YouTube, show's basically over. You can go home, eat your dinner, eat your pasta. But if you're on Twitch, please stick around for the raid. Treehouse was kind enough to grace us with a party of 10. I would love to take this party of 16 and bring it to... Let's see, who's out here? Who's out here? Oh, we're going to Cynic. We're going to Cynic.
Oh, homie Cynic.
We're going to the homie Cynic.
Let's go, baby.
All aboard. Everybody get in here. We are on our way. Much love for you, Lanz. Thanks for jumping in here.
Much love for you too, King. Thank you for having me.
Enjoy, everybody. Peace out.
Bye-bye.
And